Hey everyone, Deliver13 here. Just got done watching Smackdown, and everything I thought would happen today happened today. It was a pretty good show. I'd actually say it was on par with what we saw yesterday from Raw. Like solid promos, solid booking. Like everything that happened kind of made sense in the context of what was going to happen. So starting things off, we actually started this off with a pretty fun backstage segment where Jinder Mahal is having pictures of himself being taken with with the World Championship. And he's yelling at the cameraman, "Take more pictures, come on! Every angle you can, because I am the world..." The cameraman stops. He's like, "What are you stopping?" Pans over, there's Shane McMahon. "Because this doesn't belong to you. So I'm going to take it back. Well, it doesn't belong to me right now, but I'm going to win at a Backlash. And you're going to give it back to me." And I'm like, I like this already. This is going to be a good show, I can already tell. We had Shane come out. And he didn't have the belt, but he did come out. The crowd was amazing tonight. Like, I don't know if you guys thought the same thing if you watched the show, but the crowd was on it tonight. It was great. Like he came out, he introduced Chris Jericho. Even Jericho was like, "You guys are loud tonight. I like it." It was a great segment where they pulled continuity out of the fold, and people think that the WWE doesn't like continuity at all. They reminded everybody that Chris Jericho and AJ Styles were a match at WrestleMania last year. Though it would have been okay if they didn't, because that match was kind of lame, my opinion at least. Oh well, they acknowledged that these two have history, and that's my phone to tell me that, that is my phone telling me exactly what I was about to say. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho had a match for the U.S. title tonight. That was the main event. More on that later, because things happened, and it was a good, some good things that happened. Wow, my tablet is blowing up right now. Oh well. Live, everybody. I'll keep it in. So yeah, we had a first official match. It was either Jinder Mahal and Sami Zayn was the first match. Actually, yeah, that was indeed the first match. Which, okay, they did some good things with it. For one, they showed that the Bollywood boys are Jinder Mahal's lackeys, which I know they're called they're called their last name, they're I think the Stive brothers or something like that. No, they're the Bollywood boys. To me, they are the Bollywood boys, and I will keep saying that until people tell me to stop. So, if you want me to stop, just comment on the video, say you want me to stop, and I'll stop. But yeah, the match, as big of a Sami Zayn mark as I am, I knew that he was going to lose. It's becoming apparent that he's an interesting type of jobber, where he's a jobber that makes everyone else look good, or by making himself look horrible, which I like, but I don't like. I want him to get. He needs to start winning again. He really does. To me, at least, they need to have a match where no stupid gimmick or no stupid interference or anything. He just needs to win. He just needs to win. Because even as a fan, it's getting a little tiring seeing him lose every single week. He's becoming what Dean Ambrose was mid 2014. where he would fight all the time, but he'd always somehow lose. It was just getting annoying. After that, we had a backstage segment with Becky Lynch, Natalya, Naomi, Carmella, Tamina, and as Becky Lynch put it, the fourth woman, James Ellsworth. I'm not going to get tired of them just completely belittling James Ellsworth. I'm tired of him by this point. Like, I was one of the people that was like, I like this guy. I like this guy. Why do I like this guy? Why did I ever like this guy? Oh God, it's this guy. That was me during the last few months. 'Cause first, like when he showed up, he fought Braun Strowman. That was funny. Him, like, cause I could see, like it was just he was just indie level guy that just wanted like a quick $5,000, or that probably got like a quick $5,000 just for being in Strowman's general area for about 2 minutes, and somehow everyone latched on to him, and I was one of the people that latched on to him, and I was okay with him at first, but then he just stayed. Or then he came back, and I was okay with him then. Then he got into the feud of Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles, and I was like, what? Now he's with Carmella, and I'm like, oh God. If he's a manager, okay, you know what? As a manager, I can see him doing something like being like a manager was a good fit for him, but I'm getting tired of James Ellsworth. I just like every time they make fun of him. I don't know, like I know that makes me if that makes me a bad person, I'm sorry, but I like it. So they try to turn Becky against Charlotte, saying, you were the first draft pick on SmackDown. If anyone gets a title shot, it should be you. And that immediately raised a red flag in my head of like, wait, so you're trying to do this all for Becky Lynch? You're not doing this for yourselves? Like you said you were doing last week and the week before that? Okay. They did the obvious thing where they made it seem like they were going to try to turn Becky on against Sasha and Naomi. Or against Charlotte and Naomi, sorry. And it was like, okay, this kind of works. It really doesn't, but I'll say it does just so I can move on. And move on I shall. After that, we had the spotlight on Aiden English for what looked like a squash match, essentially, against Ty Dillinger. Actually, it didn't look like it was a squash match. It was like, I think it was probably about 30 seconds at most, maybe a minute. Afterwards, Aiden English breaks down, starts crying, and I started laughing my ass off because I'm like, oh my God. He realizes that he's a mid-card guy for the rest of his life. I'm sorry, Aiden English. That's what you are. You are the Kurt Hawkins now that Kurt Hawkins is not on Raw. Which I liked Aiden English. I was more of a Simon Gotch fan though. So, yeah. And it continued into the backstage segment, which was amazing. Because he's being interviewed, and all of a sudden, Jericho walks by, and he is like, wait, you're crying? You know what happens when you cry in front of Chris Jericho? Aiden English, you just made the list! And Aiden just starts he loses it. It was so good. I'm gonna miss Chris Jericho. Somewhat spoiler. I don't care, but I'm gonna miss him while he's gone. I hope his tour with Fozzy is amazing, which it probably will be, because I've actually listened to his latest single that he's come out with. It was actually pretty good, in my opinion. So, see you in July, Chris. That's all I'll say. At earliest. We had I believe that was right after Aiden was the women's tag match that had. Or no, it wasn't the women's tag match after that. What was the match after that? Because there was a match after that. It's sad that I just watched it. My memory's terrible. Oh well. We had I'll just talk about what I do remember. We had Dolph Ziggler and Sin Cara, who's looking really good, by the way. I like his new ring gear. It actually looks pretty dope. Which I just realized I said the word dope. Yay. Yes. Basically, this what happened earlier in the night was Dolph Ziggler was like, "Who is he to try to get me to do something, or to disgrace me like that? He knows who I am. I don't. Who is he?" He was trying to vent his frustration to Shane, and Shane just goes, "Well, you know who he is. He is Shinsuke Nakamura. He just introduced himself to you last week, and you're gonna face him later. But right now, you have to get ready for your match against Sin Cara." Which I'm like, okay, that's gonna be a squash. Okay, yeah, Dolph picked the win. I did get the order wrong. It was the women's tag. We had let's see. Yeah, it was just Carmella and Natalya versus Naomi. And it looked like it was going to be just Naomi by herself, because because the welcome committee, as they're calling themselves, they attacked Charlotte, left her in the back, clutching her chest, so you thought that she wasn't going to show up. Naturally, actually, she probably could have just stayed back there. Naomi looked like she had it for the longest frickin' time. And World win as the heels won, apparently, or for some reason, leading there to be a brawl. And here comes Becky Lynch, and she goes to the four of them, and is like, she's being all buddy. All of a sudden, she turns on she turned heel and then turned back. It was actually kind of cool. So now I'm pretty sure next week's going to be Naomi, or Charlotte and Becky versus Carmella, or Natalya and Tamina. That's going to be a good match, if that is indeed the case. Oh, and James Ellsworth's going to be there too. Maybe they could get Aiden English to be their official fourth guy. Give him something else to do. Or get Ty Dillinger. That'd be funny too. Let's see. We had a rather hilarious sketch of the Fashion Police, Brizongo, I saw that they actually had a boss man, a boss man picture hanging in this corner, which I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty funny. And they're talking about how they want to, or how they're going to deliver justice to the Usos. And my favorite line of this whole segment was, they walk around like they own the place. That's jaywalking. And Jimmy walking. And it was like, okay. That was funny. Finally, we had the match. A great match. We had Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho in a rematch for the U.S. title. This went on for about 30 minutes, as it should have. This was a proper U.S. title or match. That belt is never going to be as hot as it is right now. Mark my words. And I'm hoping they prove me wrong, because I love the U.S. title. I love the history that belt has. Kevin Owens is the best person to have the U.S. title on SmackDown Live. Kevin Owens won, and then proceeded to beat the ever-loving shit out of Chris Jericho, essentially writing him off the show, which is how we ended things, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with it. Like, it was a good way to write him off, because we all know he was leaving. They probably just gave him that last win as a thank you to him, to sit, or like as a proper send off, or as a parting gift, essentially. Hopefully we'll see him in a couple months. Like I said, like, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens' dynamic is actually really good. I'm hoping that they continue it when they come back. Because technically now Chris Jericho is owed a rematch clause. Because whenever a champ loses the belt, he has a rematch clause, which it looks like Finn Balor actually somehow remembered it yesterday. I don't know if I said that or not. I think I did. But yeah, like, overall the show was solid, as we expected to be, at least in my immediate circle. Like, everyone that I've talked to, everyone agrees SmackDown Live is a superior show. It is the show that wrestling fans can enjoy, casual fans can enjoy, hardcore fans can enjoy, because everything that is done with there is a good staff working on SmackDown, which is the staff I wish would be working on Raw, and I think is actually starting to work on Raw, because especially yesterday was really good. But anyway, that's it for me. Like I said, if you didn't see my announcement video yesterday, I do have a Patreon, so support me at Duo13 on Patreon. And if you want, at the end of the show, starting next week, if you want your name mentioned, just donate at the $5 level. Many other benefits there too. Until then, this is Dylan13. Later.